Three women, wives, mothers, and entrepreneurs with mouths and minds so dirty they don't want the parents in the carpool line to know their real identities. This is Kinks Out. Our names may be made up, but the stories are real.
Hi, everybody. We are. Jeej does. I don't do the intro, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing. In typical fashion, we're recording when our children are supposed to be napping, and Mars is running to try to get a child back to sleep. So here I am to do the intro. We made friends with the lovely No Trigger Nancy via Instagram. Thank you, social media. And thank you for being here with us, Nance.
Thanks, guys, for having me. Happy to be here. This is like my first rodeo, so hopefully I don't screw this up.
No such thing.
You won't. We will.
That's,
You won't. It will be us.
That's the best part of this. So on today's episode, we're going to talk about just that, your name, trigger warnings in the smut books that we've read and read. So this is going to be really funny because Shug, I mean, when she does read, if she reads, they don't have trigger warnings. I feel like you read like fluff stuff, right?
I mean, like I feel like everything is a trigger warning for me. It's like French kissing, trigger warning.
Should we change your name to Totally Triggered Tammy?
Totally Triggered Tammy.
We could be like a team.
Yes. That will be your name for
no
this
triggers.
episode.
She has no triggers. I have all the triggers. Like,
totally triggered Tammy.
A normal person. Totally triggered.
That will be your name this episode.
I love it.
Tell us, Nance, how did you get started on social media just with, Bookstagram and things like that? Like, what was the catalyst for that?
So, my work best friend and I, we read every single book together, typically. And one day we were sitting there talking about, it was Carnage by Chantal Tessier that was coming out. And she and I were like, we've got to get an arc for this. We got to get an arc for this. That, and then also the Twisted Sisters, Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. I am super obsessed with Zodiac Academy. One of my favorite series of all time. They're forever my soul. But anyways, I really, really wanted to be on their two arc teams. I was like, if I can get on their arc teams, like everything in the world is perfect. So she was like, I dare you to just make an Instagram and we'll call you Nancy and nobody will know who it is. And at first I didn't show my face because I didn't want anybody. I have two toddlers. I didn't want anybody to know me, see me in real life, anything like that. Judge what I was reading because obviously, debauchery. But as time went on, I started to show my face a little bit more. I did actually get an arc for Carnage, and now I'm on the Twisted Sisters audio review team. So that's kind of cool. And so it all worked out. But yeah, it was really for those two things. Is I wanted to be on the Twisted Sisters arc list and then also Chantal Tessier for Carnage specifically.
That's awesome. I just started Zodiac Academy. I flew through the first book like 2 days ago, flew through it. And I just started the second one. And I am like, it is so good. And usually I'm like, I need spice right away. It's just like, I have no clue where it's all going to go. And I think I needed a break from some of the stuff that I was doing anyway. So I was just like, okay, Fae and like all of these, magic and things like that. I am diving in headfirst and I'm obsessed right now. So as soon as you mentioned that, I was like fangirling.
No, they're so amazing. Darius Acrox is like my number one MMC of all time. Like he could split me in two. Let's go. Daddy Darius all the way. I've probably read 400 and something books over the last 3 years. And he will always have the place in my heart. But yeah, keep up with the whole series. It's incredible. Read Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac as well by them. It's actually a prequel series, not necessarily a prequel series, but it happens before in the timeline of Zodiac. But it's incredible. I love them. It's like
Oh.
trash TV is what I tell people is like, it's never going to be a literary masterpiece. But if you're looking for something that is going to keep you thoroughly entertained, Zodiac Academy is it.
Okay.
Wait,
Ooh.
are they
All
like
right.
magicians? Are they like, is it like Harry Potter magicians? Like, that's
Wizard?
what I'm imagining. Wizards. Are they wizards?
They're fae with like a magic system, and they all have what's called an order. So each order can do specific things that are specific to their order. They really have a pretty complex magic system, and I think originally they were joking around and they were saying it's like smutty Harry Potter. So if Harry Potter is
Yeah.
a thing, I would say you would like it.
Okay, Shug, I feel like I
Oh.
need you to start the first one because maybe we can just, yeah.
I because when I was younger, like, do you remember David Copperfield, the magician?
Yes, my husband is a
Yes.
Like,
Where is this
that was
going?
that was boner city for me.
Oh,
Like, I
okay.
was so turned on by
You're
David
like, yeah.
Copperfield. And he was probably in his like 40s and I was like 12 and I wanted
my
him to
God.
make me fly so bad.
We love
So
him.
like maybe I'd be into this.
I mean, that could be
That
the
has
trope.
nothing to do with wizards, magicians. Same thing.
No, listen, I think you would like this.
I'm dying.
I'm so stuck on at first when you said David Copperfield, I was thinking of David Blaine.
No.
Is he?
David
He's an
Copperfield, like,
illusionist, isn't he?
Oh, yes. Maybe that's who I was thinking of too. Now
oh
I'm confused.
yeah.
David Copperfield is like old. Is he alive still?
Yes, he's still alive. He still has a mullet. He's still hot. He still wears tight jeans. Anyone that can make things disappear, like I will lay spread eagle for you. Like you
Like,
can
I need
make
you to
David
read
Copperfield.
Zodiac. I mean, it's not
Yes.
the worst thing I've ever seen. We love a silver fox.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep going with it. Shug, you're gonna start it. Mars
I
can
am
probably
gonna
hear
start
us
it.
through her headphones while she's putting a child to sleep. So I'm also gonna say that she will start it as well. So when you have trigger warnings, I feel like there's such a wide variety. Like, I guess there's like the dark romance trigger warnings, there's like mental health trigger warnings. What are some of your like top books that you've read with trigger warnings? Like some of mine, like my big ones are Nyla K books. Like I fucking love her. I
Same.
mean, yeah, it's that she has a lot of trigger warnings in hers, like Twincest and like Double Edge.
Double
And
Edge. Yeah.
I haven't read that though. Have you
I
read
haven't
that?
read that either. So ironically, I have one trigger that Nancy, I'm not triggered by. It's just not my favorite thing. And I have I'm not kink shaming anybody. Like whatever gets you
Yeah,
out,
we say that all
go
the time
for
too.
it.
Yeah.
Like enjoy. Um, Familial incest is the one thing I haven't read. If I do, it would be Double Edged by Nyla K because
Yeah,
I've seen
same.
so many people say that it's so good and they can get over all that. I love MM. I love Step Brothers. So I'm sure I would like it. I don't know why I can't get my brain to go there. What I'm looking for in trigger warnings, ooh, that's interesting. I love more so mental health rep. So anything with like mental health fuckery that they have to overcome trauma. I love all of that. I actually don't ever read the trigger warning pages because I like to fly in blind. I know that that's not for some people, but
Ooh.
I don't want it to tell me anything. So my best friend, I mentioned earlier that she reads everything with me, and she'll call me and she's like, "Oh my God, did you see this?" And I'm like, "Do not tell me anything. Like, I'll kill you. Don't tell me." But the last book that I read,
Meanwhile, Mars and I are the opposite. Like a lot of the times I'm like, well, wait, just what happened? How far do I need to get there? Like what is
stresses me out. Like, I don't want to know anything. Do not tell me. Like, I don't even like wink to them and tell me they're going to be okay. Just like nothing. I want to have all the stress. The
That's so
last
funny.
book though with trigger warnings, like a grocery list long, I would say, is Little Bird Lost by Jessie Walker, which I am fully immersed right now into the Shilohverse. And that book is pitch black.
Okay. Well, I just put that in. Isn't that like 900 pages long? Because I just put that in my TBR.
I think it's like, so I think you're thinking Every Breath After. I think that one is 900 pages. I haven't gotten to that yet, but it is so high on
Okay.
the list. But you need to wait to read that until you've read Little Bird Lost. And you don't need to read Little Bird Lost until you've read If There's a Will and If There's a Way, or Will and Way first.
Yeah.
By Jesse Walker. Read those two, then read Little Bird. It's a much better experience that way. I'm so thankful I did it that way. Little Bird, I want to say, is like $7.96. But
Oh
it
my
took
gosh.
me a good week to read it. There's no audio yet. And for me,
It would take Sugar like 9 years to read that.
What?
When we were originally talking about this episode, we made a list of like some of the trigger warnings, and Shug was like, "What the fuck do you guys read?" Which
not
one
a friend
stuck to you most, Shug?
Oh my, I was like, this is not Emily Henry, which I usually am reading. And I was, when we, okay, to take it back, like we started a book club and then this podcast because I was like, hell, I read smut like you. And like then when I'm used to reading like, oh, they came, they kissed, then he slid his hand up her leg, and then the room went dark. Like and then they were like, read this book, and I was like, whoa, I'm not in the same place that I thought I was. So
no hand
what was I
necklaces
talking
and
about?
Emily Henry.
Yeah, no Emily Henry hand necklaces.
Missed opportunity. Missed opportunity.
No.
For real.
No.
Oh my god.
No, I mean,
okay, wait.
I
So
think this entire list scares me. And the entire thing.
read it off for us so Nance can hear some.
Okay. Gunplay. Blood play.
Not to be tried at home.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, we need disclaimers on this episode, I feel like.
There was a news story about gunplay, and I was like, the Hunting Adeline fans are out in the wild. Watch out for them.
Seriously. Yeah, the Hunting and Haunting Adeline series. Is that what, H.D. Carlton?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that's the one where like Shug, he like doesn't he like stick a gun up her vag?
He sure
Oh
does.
my god.
It's not my thing, you know?
Yeah.
But, hey, don't knock it till you
I
try
mean, maybe
it.
a water
Right.
gun, but like not a real, like a super soaker, maybe, but not.
You want some
Okay.
girth. You want some girth on that.
Yes, right.
Shoot the blaster.
Okay,
Hold on.
so
I just have to tell you that while we're sitting here, my phone's blowing up because Mars is still listening and she's like, I'm dying. Super soaker. She has FOMO so bad now.
she would have so much to say about this. Okay, so you're saying blood play we should not try at home. Like I feel like that should not be tried anywhere, but okay. Definitely not at home either. Incest, which you talked about, murder. Like this list just I feel like it's getting worse and worse. Dubious consent, which I don't even know what that means. Dubious. What's
like
dubious?
Iffy, right? Like there's
Yeah,
consent, but like is there?
Yeah, like she'll be like, no, but then still like wrap her legs
Why
around
did
him
you
or
say,
something.
like,
I don't
Snow White right there?
It's ambiguous, right? There's definitely gray area. So like, is it the ritual where he gives her the little vial and it's like, drink me, and then they like bone it out?
Yeah.
So I would say that's probably
like Alice
well,
in Wonderland.
in my opinion, that's fully consenting. But you're like agreeing to be drugged maybe, or
And then not knowing what's going to happen after you're drugged. Yeah. So like you can't give full consent.
Cool. Cool.
not
Straight
for
into
everybody, not for everybody.
non-consent. Straight into the non-consent.
Yeah. You go from dubious to non.
Primal play, which I'm guessing is like you pretend you're a lion and like is that
I love a primal scene, but really it's primal is more so like go run after them. So like somebody's the predator, somebody's the prey. So like if my husband were
Okay.
to take me around my house, I would live for that.
So that's your
Really?
bag.
I love a primal scene. And if it's done right, chef's kiss. Amanda Richardson, Pray Tell, one of the best.
That's been on my TBR for a while. We
So
can
this
we
is
can move
like
on.
this is like crawl, not crawl to me, crawl away from me.
More like fucking run. Like they'll be like, you've got till 10, and then you run. And yeah, sometimes I've read ones where like it's in the woods.
If I catch
Oh
you,
my
I
God.
thank you.
Yes. Look at me, she like claps. She's like, yes.
Give it to me. Now, crawling, another one of my favorites. Like anytime he says crawl,
Same.
I'm like, yes, instant 5-star read. But
Same.
I need therapy, so.
We all do.
Yes, we all do.
Oh my God, I love you. You were fantastic.
Thanks, I'm having fun.
What else do we have?
Yeah, finish this list because
Yeah,
this is
it's
just
like
hard.
there's like, degradation, masochism, sadism,
BDSM.
yeah, all the BDSM stuff. What is it? Like stalking,
Yes.
kidnapping.
Yes. Sexual assault on Paige. Mentioned
Yeah.
sexual assault. Bryn Weaver's trigger warnings are the best. She's like accidental cannibalism.
Is that the person who wrote Butcher and Blackbird?
Yes, that is the greatest trigger warning page of my life. I love it. It's such a good book too.
Is Mars there? Mars, we can't hear you. Mars, she's like, I'm not meant to be. She's just sad. She's just filled with sadness. Her child's not napping. She's angry. She's just gonna mime this episode, and I'm gonna tell you what she's thinking. As she's gonna write them all on paper and hold it up as she does it. Fuck. That tracks. And she has AirPods in, so the child can't hear. It's fine. Everything's fine. Hey guys, guess who's back? Mars.
Guess who's back?
Back again.
Back again.
One of the things that I have a lot to say about everything you guys already have talked about, but I'm not going to go back and do that because who has time for that? The one thing I have to say is Super Soaker. A Super Soaker? Super Soakers are really big, first of all.
We're gonna have to buy sugar
Oh.
for her birthday.
I'm definitely buying Super Soakers. And my other question is, so you guys had talked about like a lot of the trigger warnings and stuff like that. I have to ask if you know what book I'm talking about. Gigi and I had started to read a book, and I cannot for the life of me remember the name of it, and I didn't finish it. And for me to not finish a book is like, it means that it was really like, what the fuck? So it was about a girl who she joined like an escort service to like be an escort, and she could like look online at the profiles and pick sort of like what she wanted to do, or like she had to put all of her limits and stuff like that. So she started out kind of like, easing into it and everything. But then on one of her like third encounters, I want to say, it was period play.
Salt,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it was like I've started reading it and Gigi hadn't got to that part yet. And I was like, I'm not sure how much more of this I'm going to read. But I
Weren't you
gave-
like they're putting down a tarp? You're like,
yes, she like walked into the room with the dude and like legit I remember reading it and it being like the entire room was covered in plastic. And he like wanted her to be there like on her heaviest day, like all this stuff. And yeah, that's a big old ick, right? Like and I read like, the trigger warning, it was listed on it, but it was one of those things where I didn't like fully process it until I started reading it. And I remember texting you and being like, do not keep reading. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
I don't know what book you're talking about, but have you guys seen Saltburn?
No, we haven't
I
watched
haven't.
it yet.
Don't.
I know. I need to.
I honestly flew into it blind. So somebody trapped me, and they told me that it was like the sweet romance movie that I just had to watch. And so I told my best friend, I was like, let's do this, like let's watch it, it's gonna be sweet, it's gonna be so cute. Romance. Well, like 20 minutes into it, I'm like, this isn't an romance. And then like an hour into this, he's like finger blasting
Isn't that-
her while she's on her period, and then he's like tasting it, and he's like, I'm a vampire, and he's like rubbing it all over her face. And if you can believe it, that is the least disturbing part of this whole freaking movie. So what I need you guys to do after this is go on Amazon Prime, watch Saltburn, and then report back, because I was like, what the fuck? And for me to watch,
I need to watch it now. I heard like all the other stuff about him like licking his cum out of the bathtub
and like
and,
drinking.
like-
Yeah, I have heard about the bathtub part, and that was to me what I thought was like the most like weird part of the whole
no,
thing.
neither one of
I
those
guess
mentioned are the
not.
most disturbing parts. Actually, the most disturbing part to me, and I won't tell you, I guess. But yeah, neither one of those take the cake on the disturbing parts for me. So
That's wild.
You
Yeah,
can let
I
your
had seen it
mind
because
go
that what's his name? That like Jacob Eldorado. What's his name? That's
Oh,
not
his
right.
name was
Oh,
he spent his
Lord.
whole peen on
Jacob
like
Elordi.
5 minutes. The whole thing.
Ah,
In the first 5 minutes.
No, like at the very, I think it's at the very end. Just the whole thing for a good 5 minutes on screen, like entire peen.
Doing what? Just like
He's just
standing there?
dancing. He's just naked. having a good time. He's helicoptering.
No,
oh my god.
Wait,
That's
you have to
honestly one of
tell-
my
you have to
favorite
tell us
penis
what
tricks.
the most disturbing things is.
So, okay, it's gonna ruin it, but I still need you to watch
that's
it.
okay.
So he kills his best friend, and the guy that
Hold
he's,
on.
like obsessed with.
Spoiler alert, everybody, if you
Oh.
haven't watched Saltburn yet.
He
It was
Spoiler.
out like last
he
year,
kills
right?
his best friend, and then after he kills him, they bury him. So naturally, you're gonna like fuck the mound where your best friend is buried underneath, right? So he's just
Yeah. I mean, that's
the
that's
dirt?
typical, right?
yeah, he's just humping the mound. Just takes the peen out, sticks it in the dirt, and is just going to town.
Oh my god.
Ew.
I was seriously like, who thought of this? Like, what is happening?
Is this based off a book? Do we know?
I honestly don't know, but yeah, I'm gonna need you to check it out. It was wild. It was a wild.
All right.
Is there a
Well,
plot, or is it just like from each scene to each scene? Where
It-
they just like, what can we put in this movie? There
It's
is plot.
but it is like weird as shit. Like 2 glasses of wine, I would say, before you start it. Watch it with friends. It's a wild time, especially when you have no idea any of that's happening, and somebody told you it was a sweet romance.
yeah,
Right.
that's a shocker. I feel like I Googled it and it says that it's inspired by many books. So there's a bunch, but it's not like based off of a book that was written. Because I feel like for you to say this, Nance, you've read some things, you've seen some things. So
Yes.
for you to feel that way about this movie, we're gonna take your homework assignment to heart, and I'm having a movie night with you ladies. We need to watch this.
It was more so entertaining because I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I wasn't like, ugh. There were definitely times where I went, ugh, but more so I want to know about the people that wrote this. Like, what is going on in their
Yeah.
head? Because it was interesting. Wild ride.
Oh my
I
god!
would say a
sometimes
lot of
think that-
mushrooms.
Had something. Something.
A lot of
Lots.
mushrooms. Should have the mushrooms before we watch it.
I mean, that would,
I think
that
so
would help.
too.
I
Yeah.
don't think I'm gonna do. I don't think I want to take part in any of it.
I'll take an F. The girl loves an assignment, but she'll take an F on this.
I will. Oh, I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid of failure. I think that for me, like reading something is a lot easier than watching it for me. Like even, Jeej and Shug went on a date and saw The Idea of You, and I still haven't watched it, despite like we did an episode on it. I read
knew
the
you weren't gonna
book.
watch it.
I watched the end. I watched the epilogue.
Did
That's
you
it.
really? You did?
Sure did. I just watched the epilogue. That was it.
Oh my god.
That was
on.
3
Yeah, so
minutes.
for
3
me,
minutes.
I can tell you, yeah, I'll watch Saltburn. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm too scared. I have a
She's
TV
too
and
scared.
movie commitment.
It was weird, but definitely you got to be like a little tipsy for it and with some friends.
I also don't drink, so
I could be tipsy
It's
for
all
it.
far away.
Yeah, we'll get this.
Yeah, well, we'll do that. We'll handle it. It's fine.
thanks,
Yes.
guys. So speaking of things that are crazy, have you read any of the C.R. Jane, The Pucking Wrong Date, Pucking Wrong Man, Pucking Wrong Number? Have you read any of those books?
Ironically, no. I went through a big hockey period back in, I want to say like October, and I read probably like 15 hockey books just back to back to back to back. But I never made it to those. I read the S. Mastery Hockey God books, and they were like
Yeah.
psychos that play hockey, and they're not my favorite in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
But I've heard those ones are good. What'd you think?
They're good because the level of crazy that these guys are on, and they get like crazier each book, is one of those things where like if you should read the trigger warnings before you read it, because he like throws away her birth control pills.
I love
He's
that.
poking holes in condoms. Like they're just, he
They're unhinged.
they're unhinged, and like I love it. And I'm
Yeah.
reading it, and it's like at the same time though, when you think about it, you're like, is this normal to think that this is attractive as it is? I'm trying to like remember what else, like some of the crazy stuff they did. The one guy, he got an ex-boyfriend or like a fiance or something on a no-fly list, so he couldn't come to her. He was like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put you
Oh,
on the
they put,
no-fly
like,
list.
They put like cameras in the girls' houses.
And all that, yes, they're watching
Like
them.
all their
He was-
rooms, they could watch them for what? Like, oh,
Yeah.
like these dudes are nuts, but you still love them.
he burnt down her apartment so that she had to live with them.
I love that. It's like
Right,
a bully romance.
I'm
Like,
like, that's so sweet.
I love a bully romance too. Let me tell you.
That's another trigger warning too. I feel like that people are like,
I just finished a book that it like just came out, I'm pretty sure too. And it was called So Wrong by Abby
Millsap.
Millsap. Yes. I just finished that one, and it ends on a cliffhanger. And Gigi, don't read it right now. It's not one you should read right now. But it was so good, but like it wasn't spicy that much or anything like that. But it ended on a cliffhanger, and I'm so annoyed with it. But it's one that like it's very mental health oriented and things like that. That it was, I don't know where I was going.
It was Hunter and her stepbrother and another guy, right? Because I read the
Yes,
South-
it's Hunter
or South Chapel.
and the step.
I read Lake Chapel, maybe not.
Yes, Lake Chapel, South Chapel. That they're like in high school together, and then like they start dating. Hunter, and his name's Greedy, but that's like a nickname. Hunter and Greedy start dating, and then they find out that their parents are dating. And like a bunch of other things happen, but it goes back and forth, like a now and then situation. And it ended on a cliffhanger. But there's a lot of like mental health stuff in it and other triggers and everything. But it was for like a book that just came out and wasn't super spicy, had me like hooked on it. And now I'm so annoyed that I have to wait till I think July the next one comes out, because I hate it when things end on a cliffhanger.
I love
that's
it.
like all the Zodiac books are cliffhangers. That's why I immediately started that second one.
They're the worst cliffhangers in the history of all the cliffhangers, I think, is Zodiac Academy.
I am gonna go back to the Pucking Wrong CR Jane stuff real quick, because I had to look it up because it made me laugh, because her dedication says to all my red flag renegades, and that made me laugh so much. And then it says, so I don't go in blind usually. I always like to read the trigger warnings, but I like how she says, "Dear readers, please be aware that this is a dark style romance, and as such, can and will contain possible triggering content. Elements of this story are purely fantasy and should not be taken as acceptable behavior in real life. Our love
I don't
interest
hate it though.
is possessive, obsessive, and a golden retriever stalker. The golden retriever stalker you've always been waiting for."
Love that. It's like Nemo
So, like-
from God of Fury. Like he is like my little
Is that Rena Kent?
yes.
Yeah. Mars, you're gonna have so many books to link this episode. You've probably
Come
been
at me
yep.
that I've
You
been doing
got
it since I
this.
started listening.
You have
I
got
had to
this.
make
You were
myself
on-
useful.
Stop. You're always useful.
I have nothing to contribute. right now because I'm just
You're
in toddler
wonderful.
world again now.
Hey, you're good.
Shug,
Well,
if you were to open a book, Shug, and see like any of these trigger warnings, would you even keep reading?
I mean, I don't know if that's a fair question because I don't keep reading.
you were
Either
so
way,
excited
I
about
get
your
it.
Emily Henry book, and you're like, she like came to us with her Emily Henry and was like, yes. And the other day, she's like, guys, I'm still only at 20%.
No, I'm
I
on
get
page
that.
20.
I
That's
get
not
it.
even 20%. Yeah. No. Like, no. Like, if I definitely read these triggers, I would be like, I probably won't do it. I'm not the same as you. I'm very different.
Do you guys feel like
This is-
authors these days are trying to reach, though, too much and adding too many triggers because they know people like myself are looking at that as like a grocery list to read, right? And I feel like people are trying to do too much now.
I wondered
Yes.
that. Yeah.
I agree. And I think that there's like a fine line of it being like, this could potentially be a thing, or okay, it's a little too much. And you have to find that. I haven't personally read anything yet that I'm like, okay, it's too many. It's too much. I mean, there's definitely been books where I'm like, this is a lot.
No, I agree with you though, Mars. Like I feel like the C.R. Jane books, for example, that we were just talking about, those hockey ones. Like I feel like some people could go into it reading and be like, okay, this is, like these guys are freaking nuts. But the humor that she laces with it, I feel like compensates for some of that and makes it not feel overwhelming, or because it's almost like I don't want to say that it's unbelievable because she does a great job writing it, but it's like it's a book. Like you can put it together and it, like it's like this is fiction and that's okay. So I feel like those ones. But then yeah, other ones I feel like it's becoming this trend to see how crazy maybe.
Right. And it's
I
just too
would
much.
say-
And same thing with tropes, right? It's like they'll give you like 95
Ugh.
tropes. And it's like, we didn't need you to be like stepbrother, age gap, mental health.
Dad's
like-
best friend.
They just pulled him out of a hat.
Yeah, it's like just write a good story, make it flow well. That's what I want to read.
Yes, exactly. I feel the same way. I don't care, how many different things are in there if it's well written. If it's written to the point where you're like, okay, this still makes sense, the timelines are working and everything like that with it. I feel like, and I read Butcher and Blackbird and I really liked it. But
That was a DNF for me. That was a DNF
Yeah,
for
you
me.
didn't finish it. I liked it. I wasn't creeped out. I mean, it was gross. But the accidental cannibalism part in it, because like you would put it in our notes for cannibalism, and I like in oh my god, in parentheses next to it put like accidental cannibalism. But that's one of those things like can happen to anybody.
That was hysterical. That part to me, I wasn't even disturbed. I just could not stop laughing.
Yes, it was funny.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing too, is that scene was so funny too, because she was like, wait, and it was too late. He had eaten whatever it was. And it was really gross, but really funny all at the same time.
Yeah, I loved those. I can't wait for Leather and Lark. I cannot believe you didn't finish it, Jeej.
I know. I don't know why. It just like didn't. Maybe I have to try to read it again because it's not that I didn't like it, but maybe it was the timing or something, and I just like wasn't vibing with it. But
Fair.
yeah, I feel like I'll try it again.
I'm a huge mood reader though, like that myself. Like if I'm reading something
Yeah.
and it's just not hitting for me, I'll come back around to it because I know my mood has to be there.
Yeah, that's exactly like currently I have been on this huge cowboy kick, and that's been the one series that I was reading was so good. I think we talked about it previous episode, but the second book is out now, but it's an accidental pregnancy trope. And if like people were following along, I just had a miscarriage and I was like, fuck, I really want to read this book right now, but I was like, mental health matters, not gonna read it right now. Like, so that's why I was thankful for the trigger warnings, because I wouldn't have known if I hadn't have read them in the beginning. And I was like, that's literally what this whole book is about.
Right.
So I was like, okay, pass. I'll come back around to it when I'm mentally stable enough
Yeah,
for
you
this.
just circle back to it. And I
But that's
usually like go ahead, sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, but that's maybe where I was. I had read too many like darker romance books before Butcher and Blackbird,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
it was
you
like
have to
another
be in the
one.
right
Yeah.
state of mind for those types of books. I definitely am a mood reader too, where I've even started books and been like, this is not my vibe right now. I will come back to it. And most of the time I do. Like I end up, going back and reading it again. But I'm not going to force myself to read something if it's just not my mood right then. It might not even be the book. I'm the problem.
Yeah,
It's me.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's like me. Wait, is Butcher and Blackbird it's on audio, right?
yes, the audio is fantastic.
Okay, maybe I'll do that.
Yes, it was someone in book club read it on audio and said that like she loved it.
Yeah, the audio is
I
great.
forget
It's
who.
Joe Arden, and I don't know who the female is.
And you love Joe Arden, don't you, Jeej?
No,
Is that the
that's
guy you
Connor
like?
Grace that I
Ah,
love.
whatever.
Right?
Same.
You guys aren't audiobook people, it's fine.
No, I'm
Nance,
like,
you
same.
do a lot of audio, don't you?
I do. If audio makes my life easier, so just working,
Same.
being able to like get things done with my kids. If I don't have audio for something, it takes me forever. That was the hard part with Little Bird Lost, is that I didn't have any audio and it was killing me. I needed to know what happened, but I just couldn't stop and read.
You're like, life has to take a backseat for a minute. I have books to read.
Literally.
Honestly, the most annoying part of life is having to do other things.
For real.
Like, if I'm in a good book, I'm like, this is so dumb that I have so many other things I need to be doing right now, but all I want to do is read this book. That's how I felt about that Abby Millsap book. So wrong. It was like, I really wanted to just keep reading it. It was really good.
I'll have to check that out because I did like the Lake Chapel books.
I didn't realize there were ones before it. This was the first one I've read, but now I think while waiting for the other one, I'll probably read those ones because I did really like it.
It's like so wrong, not so wrong. Maybe that's right.
That's the one that just came out.
What are they called? My brain isn't functioning. I didn't take a Vyvanse this morning. You're gonna have to forgive me.
I was trying to think of other trigger warning books. Oh, Priest by Sierra Simone.
I have got to do
that one.
I have got to.
You haven't read that one yet?
No. So, and it took me forever to actually do New Camelot, which a ton of people love, and I do love. That is like one of the spiciest series I've ever read.
That was the American Queen one.
Yes.
Jeej.
We've only read the first one of that.
Yeah, we've only read the first one of that. We need to keep reading. Priest was one that Jeej and I.
Well, I liked the second one. The third one, the way it ended wasn't it for me. But I think I force started. It was a good series. I just wish it would have ended a little bit differently. But I'm kind of a savage, so.
Oh. Everyone we've like heard talk about it was like said that they just kept getting better. So I do want, I keep saying I'm going to take them from your house because you have the hard copies of it.
Yeah.
I with Priest, it was one that was like on both of our TBRs forever. And we were both just like, I don't know if I can do it. And then I went all in and read it. And I can't remember being like, did you get to the part where they use lube or the holy oils as lube?
That's amazing.
It's like not a book I would recommend to anybody who is like extremely religious or even a little bit really like Catholic. No way. I would not recommend that book to you.
That's Sick Love. Let's talk trigger warnings for that book. Have you guys read it?
I have not. That's a dark one, right?
That one's pitch black, I would say.
Yeah, that's why I haven't started that one. It's in my TBR. Okay, tell us about it.
So he's a masked stalker. She is a Catholic schoolgirl, very revenge plot-esque. It's kind of like fighting against the patriarchy and all of the men within the church. It's amazing. I love it. I love anything, Jessie Hall could put her name on literally anything and I will read it. She's incredible. That Sick Love was my first book by her. It's another Joe Arden audio. It's fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. If you liked, have you guys read Mindfuck?
No.
The Mindfuck series has similar vibes, but very much like vigilante shit, if that's your thing.
Okay. Yeah.
I love that I just shook my head as if she's like, did you read it? No.
No, I haven't.
Spoiler
For
alert,
me, sugar.
he may fuck her with a crucifix. So if that's
What?
if that's a trigger,
If that's a trigger, didn't have that one listed, but
Oh
we'll
my
put it on
God.
the old
List.
list.
but there's a lot of religious trauma there, and they kind of overcome it together. And it
Yeah.
actually is a really beautiful story. After I
That's I
wow.
feel like there's in Priest, there's a lot of trauma, religious trauma too. I don't want to give any like huge spoilers away if people haven't, but yeah, that's there's definite
But it was spicy,
to say the least.
to say the least about
Mira
it.
Simone
It
was
was
spice.
spicy.
Whew. Yeah, she is. I agree. Another one was Credence by Penelope Douglas.
Oh,
That's like
Chef's
one of my
kiss.
top 5 books.
I love that book.
Uncle Jake.
Uncle Jake for
Yes.
life. I love you, Uncle Jake. When we first talked about this, I feel like Sugar was just like, wait. I'm like, they're not blood relatives. Because yeah, I'm the same as you, Nance. Like, I'm like,
Yeah, no.
the blood relatives, I can't hang with that. I mean, and like we said, everybody has their own thing that they love. But as soon as I was like, oh, there's like, he's not her blood uncle, so they're not like her real cousins. It's fine.
Yeah, and we love a mute man, right? He can't talk back.
So- What was his name?
Caleb.
Caleb. Oh, that was it. Oh.
I loved him too. I mean,
I love
was
them
a big
all.
Uncle Jake fan, but Caleb was definitely. And I liked how that story. I love reverse harms. Are my favorite genre, whatever it is. But I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But I like that one ended, even though she had been passed around a little bit. Ended with her and Caleb.
What an
Passed around in the best way. Like, most books you read like that, they end up just all together.
Yeah.
Which I love too. But I did.
But
like
yeah,
that
I
one
do like the
ended.
way. Yeah, I do like the way that they like it worked. You know what I mean? Like it worked. And I loved that.
Wait, you said there's a mime involved?
mute.
Oh, it's like God.
It's like I'm stuck in a box.
I love it. But now I can't
Listen.
unsee that.
You're just like Caleb miming by the fire
Oh my God.
on his dirt bike. Sorry.
I love it.
All right, what's next on your TBR, or like, what's your current reading situation?
So right now I just started the audio for Skies Over Caledonia or whatever. I can't pronounce literally anything, so if I butchered that, that's on me. But it's by Samantha Young. So I have that audio I'm going to do. And then after that, I really want to continue in this whole Jessie Walker Shilohverse and do Every Breath After. But that is a girthy girl. There's no audio. And my best friend is in the worst book hangover of her entire life over this book. So I'm so excited about it.
Oh,
Because naturally trauma.
naturally.
Love me some trauma. If it's going to make me cry and feel something, that's what I'm all about.
I was actually semi mad at you when you referred Wrath to me.
Oh, because you were just
Because-
hysterical.
I loved that book so much. That's probably my worst book hangover that I've ever had thus
Yeah.
far, was from that book. And like, I couldn't, like, nothing was good after I read that. Like, I was just like, just going
Did I
through the
read that?
motions. No, you didn't, and I told you to, but you have to be in a good mental space. Like,
Yeah.
it's an amazing.
Maybe that's why I
book.
didn't. It was really long too, wasn't it?
Yes, it's very long.
There is audio
Yeah.
for it, though.
Do you want to go?
I did about half of it on audio, half of it I eyeballed it, and it
Me
is
too.
the way that she like just brought up all the trauma and the dark themes of that book.
Ugh.
It just tugs at your heartstrings. Like I was ready to go like make donations, do whatever it was. Like it was left
Seriously.
an impact. And I think if you
Yeah.
really liked that, I think you'll love the Jessie Walker Shilohverse.
All right. Well, I guess I'll be diving in.
Yes, I can't.
All right, Mars, what's on your current reading?
Well, I just finished the Abby Millsap book, and from there, I have a bunch in my Kindle, and I can't look at it now because my child just took my phone.
You're going to do
So
something other than Zodiac Academy for the next like 8 books. Because let me tell you, those cliffhangers are going to kill you.
So that's what I was going to say. Mars, please put the first of Zodiac Academy on your net. Please.
Okay.
Harry
long
Potter
is it?
too.
They're so freaking
I do. I love
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Like this, yeah. What are you talking about? This is your jam.
I know.
Harry
Okay, I'll
Potter
start it
and
tonight then.
wands up the ass.
Oh, I
That's
mean,
what-
I love that
Yes.
too. Listen, some Hermione fan fiction, give it to me.
I haven't read it. I feel like that would ruin my childhood.
I cried about it because it did for a second there. I was like, everything.
That's why
was
like I
fine.
can't. I don't think I can read it because I literally like grew up reading Harry Potter. Like I remember being in high school when the last book came out and like going to I didn't go to school so I could go buy the last book.
I'm a Harry Potter fan myself, had Harry Potter elements in my wedding, and I will tell you this, it is now
No.
men for me. That is how I feel about Manacled. So I know where you're at.
Wow.
My best friend has
Ah.
a Deathly Hallows tattoo. She is now getting a little paper crane tattoo for Manacled because like it hits you right here.
Okay.
You got to do it.
All right. I'm in. You convinced me.
And listen, Zodiac Academy, the first book is 436 pages.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. I can do that. I mean, I can read
hold
long books,
on.
too.
Listen, on this is kind of funny. I didn't realize that it says this. When you scroll down on Kindle, it says if Voldemort ran Hogwarts, you'd get Zodiac Academy.
It's true. It's true.
Okay, I'm in. You got me.
They're
I'll start
ruthless.
it tonight. How many
They
is
are
in the series?
ruthless.
Nine, and then there's like a few novellas and bonus chapters.
Yeah, it says 12 on here, but yeah, I think that also includes the ones that are
Yeah, so there's
The ones that are
That's
in the
boys,
lot.
and then there's some novellas. I did not read the 2 novellas, but I have read all the bonus chapters because like there's some spice scenes where they'll do like the alternative POVs for, which
yeah.
and if you love
As soon as
Okay.
I got into the second one, and all of a sudden it was like Caleb, I was like, oh, we're getting other POVs. I was so pumped. Like I was so pumped.
I want to give you a spoiler because I feel like I know is specifically what kind of books you like, but I'm not going to. But I'm
No, I need it. Please
Yeah, we don't mind spoilers. We're fine with
tell
them.
me. Tell
do you really want me to tell you? Like this is a huge one.
Absolutely,
This is huge.
100%.
Okay,
1,000%.
not towards the. There's some MM. There's some MM, baby, and I'm not gonna tell.
Oh yes.
But like when it happens, it is the most beautiful. Like takes over the series. Like I'm fucking obsessed. Like they live in my mind rent free forever.
Okay.
I have
So basically, my life is Zodiac Academy for the next foreseeable future.
100%.
Cool.
Yeah, BFF BJ Club forever.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes.
All right. Well then, I think
This
on
just
that
turned into an
note-
episode about Zodiac Academy. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I think on that
more
note,
trigger warnings.
we are sadly out of time. Because listen, we could talk to you forever. You are fantastic. You
Yeah, you fit right
Yeah.
in. We love it.
You do. You fit right in. Thank you for dealing with our chaos. And I know everybody really missed me at the beginning of the episode. So if you want,
Yeah, you do have to do the outro. Don't make
I
me
got
do that
this.
again.
That was probably one of the cutest things ever. You were like, I don't do this. You say hi.
No.
It was funny. So yeah, Nance, thanks for being with us today. This was super fun. Your Instagram is at No Trigger Nancy.
That's right.
Correct?
Yep. No trigger Nancy on all
Everybody
things.
go follow her. I have gotten so many good book recommendations from you. It's been really fun to make these friendships over social media because it can be such a shitty place. So it's been nice to make real friends.
Thank you for having me, though. This has been so much fun. I was nervous before because I was like, this is my first rodeo. I don't know what to say, what to do, but it was so natural with you guys. It was so much fun, and I'd come back anytime. So thanks, guys.
I think you just took my job.
No,
I love it.
Mars. No, but I get to come back.
Listen, it's
I
fine.
get to come back with you on the line
Yeah.
full time next time.
Perfect. Yes. Yeah. I think let's do this. Once we all have read a certain number of, well, the 3 of us, Shug, you just have to be here because I love you. Once we have read a certain number of the Zodiac books, let's get on and do an episode about them. Okay.
I'm gonna
'Cause I'm
read
into
that.
They're so freaking good.
I'm
Okay.
gonna do it.
Sugar is committed.
Do it,
Super
Shug.
Soaker says
Yeah,
yes.
look. Super Soaker.
Super Soaker and the
I don't know
Zodiacs.
what your name should be. It's
That's what
either
I'm
gonna have to be what was the Tammy
Totally
one?
triggered Tammy.
I died. I was trying to get a baby to sleep and died. That was so fantastic. Well done. All
As I
right,
was sitting
we gotta
here, I
wrap it up.
realized that I have read Accidental Cannibalism,
What?
the Frenchie book. They
All I
eat
want for
themselves.
Christmas is a fingerling.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I have read that before. He totally French fried himself and ate them. Yeah.
Give Nance a quick synopsis, just a real quick. I know we gotta go, but just a quick, so she could.
Yeah,
She
don't.
has to.
She's never going to read it. But it's just a potato falling in love with a wolf shifter.
A shifter
Oh
werewolf.
shit. Okay. Okay. I need to do one of those, like the door book. I need to do with the pillow, the door, the spooky.
Unhinged.
Yes. Sometime
That
in
was
my
my
life.
fave.
Yeah.
We can start you
Anyway.
off
Fit
with
it
the
in.
fingerling potato.
Fingerling.
Yeah, it's all I want for Christmas is a fingerling.
Does he finger her? I have
I'll,
to know.
It's two men.
It's
But
MM.
one's a
Rich.
potato.
Okay.
But one is a
Yeah.
potato.
Shifter. Potato shifter. He's a.
He's a potato man. Sorry.
Yeah.
Man, potato, wolf man situation. I don't know if you've ever
Toy
heard
Story
of
is
it.
coming to
It's
mind,
all-
and I hate myself for that. So
It's all the rage.
Potato heads.
That's how I imagined. I didn't even read that whole book, but that's how I saw that potato.
like-
Was like Mr. Potato Head and like I don't even know, but I saw Mr. Potato Head too.
There's
So you're not
everyone.
alone. Thank you again, Nance, for being here with us today. We had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun listening. You guys did great without me. I don't think I'm necessary.
Stop it. We need you.
Yeah.
See, listen to this outro. You're glorious.
Yeah, follow us on all our socials. New episode drops every Wednesday whenever we record one. And yeah, thanks for listening.
thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Nance.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Thank you.